got these guys that are still there. They've been
A
for.
Cajun band, inventive as always with their instruments, is having a good old time on the lawn. Funny
This is
how
a
catchy
good
that
old time on the lawn.
the Cajun band, the Cajun,
Like this, oh, I'm sleeping. Ah, she's playing.
a small boy is tap dancing enthusiastically for a lucky dog vendor. The vendor ignores him. The lucky dog vendor has his nose buried in a paperback novel. Gabriel noticed that it is not, big surprise, one of his.
Okay, you're gonna try to talk to the lucky dog vendor. Do
You
we
mind
need
if
a
I ask
lucky
you a
dog?
few questions?
Yep, I mind all right.
Why?
Because A, I don't know anything, and B, I'm busy.
Oh,
Are we trying to talk to the one musician that's outside the store?
I have this gift
Oh,
certificate.
okay.
I'm busy.
It's good for $20 at St. George's Books, finest bookstore in New Orleans.
Really? I'll have to check it out sometime.
You could take this gift certificate with you, if you'll give me a lucky dog.
We need a lucky dog.
$20 gift certificate? Well, sure. Here you go.
All right, we got a lucky dog. Do. You're gonna love the save file. No, actually, yeah, I just did after Getty's Mansion. I originally did IDC because you said I don't care, so I originally
I don't
did.
care.
Uh-huh. Hi, Ali. Ali. Okay, so I'm guessing that the
See if you
lucky
can talk to the boy or
dog. I know. I'm trying
This
to get to
is
the
the
lucky
last
dog.
page of
Oops, hold on.
goes to a. The lucky dog is plump and juicy.
That's what she said. That's what Malia Getty said. After she said, I don't like snakes. What a lucky dog he is. Okay, all right. Do we give the dog to the boy or something like that?
Maybe.
All right, let's try that. Giving the dog a bone. He wants the attention.
You wouldn't like a lucky dog by any chance.
Would I?
Would I? Oh boy! I'm a real
Thanks,
boy!
mister. You got any special requests? Let me know.
Could you get off the board? I need the board more than you do. Alright, let's see if we can talk to the boy. Oh boy!
Interrogating the little boy wouldn't be very useful.
Alright, there's a reason why the boy.
You mentioned something about special requests.
Yeah. You got one?
Yeah, get off the board. Alright, how about doing the Nutcracker Suite in D minor?
Can you do the Nutcracker Suite in D minor?
Say what?
Oh, never mind.
Please, God. Okay, of course, when the Saints go marching in.
How about When the Saints Go Marching In?
Sure. Hey guys, Saints!
You got it, kid.
Okay. So they're doing When the Saints Go Marching In, sort of, I guess. Did I do something wrong?
Talk to somebody.
No problem.
The band isn't paying any. The other park visitor.
You seem to be quite a reader.
Yep.
Did you ever read anything by Gabriel Knight?
No.
Way to plug it in, huh? Plug your own book. Okay, so what did that get us? Because I cannot hardly hear When the Saints Go Marching In
I didn't
at
either,
all.
So either that or maybe we have to figure out something else for the kid to do or something.
Okay. So for now, book it to a different part of the park.
Yeah, let's try that. So.
And we've gone full circle, like around the park, like the
Maybe
at
don't
the
look around.
where we are.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Walk back if you go this way.
Okay. Look. Sensitivity.
Hey,
Okay.
come back here. Hey!
Oh, hold
I'm just
on.
gonna try to look at that, but I think it was watching this.
The artist is off chasing his errand. The artist is
Grab anything?
the artist would not appreciate
Okay,
artist
go back.
would not appreciate Gabriel messing
My
with his
kids,
stuff while
hello. Thank you for the lurk. He's on stream right now, so boobies! Mike Gates here. Ba da da da. Have a great time. We're so glad to see ya. Ba da 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 da. Ba da 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 da. Have a great day. Beep. Ba da 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 da. Boobies, Mike Cade. Boobies. Thank you, Mike Cade, for the lurk. I appreciate that, sir. And have a good stream yourself. Checking out, playing Fallout
Stupid
76.
wind. Now I have
I'm
to
a
start
fucking
over.
rebel too. That's why I was. Some people just don't get you, Datha, which is sad because I do. A lot of people get you too. You know what I say, Datha? They're fucking lost. They're lost.
I'm clipped, no doubt, by Datha. Okay, so I really don't know what.
Why be rude to the art? Why be rude?
Well, but I don't know what we missed. I don't know why that was important. Let's go ask the little boy with the lucky dog if he can play Saints Go Marching In again. Is that the trigger? And even then, we didn't have anything to grab from the easel or anything. Gabriel, go, go, go. Stop being such an asshat. Can we just walk? All right. And it's one thing if you don't really know, like, why are you doing what you're doing? You know, why are you walking around? And it's another thing if you actually have a clue, you know, you have a plan. I haven't got a plan. Go figure that, right? I haven't got a plan. Where's my little foot ski so I can lead ski? Alright, let's talk to this boy again. Can you play Saints Go Marching In?
Interrogating the little boy wouldn't be very useful.
I couldn't ask him for a request.
You mentioned something about special
There we go.
requests.
Yeah. You got one?
Can you fit through the bars around the statue?
Paper.
Yes, I saw a white piece of paper on the other
Where is
side.
it?
It's up screen. So we have to fit through the bars around the statue.
Can you fit through the bars around the statue?
Yeah.
Can I? touch me.
Good. There's
That's just a
something in
real
there I
boy.
can't quite reach.
Kind of
Come
reminds
on.
me of the little kids from King's Quest
Can you
7.
reach that piece of paper?
Sure thing.
I think that would be a
Here
fun
you go.
play.
Yep. See ya.
Boogity boogity. All right, so we have a piece of paper in our inventory now.
Just
Somewhere.
that middle one, the game.
The middle one right here?
It's a technical drawing of Saint Louis Cathedral.
Okay.
There's nothing written on the drawing.
Technical drawing of St. Louis.
Okay.
Okay.
So, all right. So we know that's what we picked up. That's new. And
Eventually,
It's a tech.
yes, that's what you do
okay.
there.
Okay. All right. No,
It'd be awesome if they were playing like a theme from like Quest for Glory 1, like.
Do not- we don't need to employ the walkthrough yet.
No.
Let's
Let's go talk to like Dr. John. Learn
Okay.
More about
we haven't talked to Dr. John, so this will be our first meeting with Dr. John. You didn't know there was a Dr. John, did you? You knew Dr. Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of underground. I liked yours better. I don't. I like
Okay.
yours better. I was gonna say underarm flu, but you said, is that such a thing?
Sounds like another issue. Like maybe it's more talcum or something, talcum powder or something.
Bad case of sniffing glue. Da, na, na, na. Come on, man. Let us leave the park. Okay, all right. It is time to go to
Where are you going?
I
Yes.
know, that's where I'm going to head. I was just looking at the other one. Remember what that guy told us last week? We can go
Welcome,
many different
my
places.
friend.
Hello?
I am the proprietor, Dr. John. If you have any questions, I will be happy to assist.
Right, yeah. One thing I
I'm
learned
not.
later.
And I'll probably take you up on that.
Is the guy who does Dr. John is the 7-Up guy?
Let's go watch Live and Let Die now, shall we?
Yeah, really, actually, would work. All right,
bad, so-
let's look around. Yes.
I think it was also.
The back wall displays
Yes, it
various
is.
voodoo items, such as a bandana that was once worn by a voodoo queen.
Nice bloodstains.
And there's something about the drummers that later on you figure out.
A street drummer has settled outside the museum.
Another one. I mean, in the other store, there was or in the bar, there was a drummer outside. And here at this voodoo museum, there's a drummer outside.
Yeah, I think when you start learning about what's
He's
going
got
on,
more hair than Mosley.
I think when you start,
Reminds me of a book critic for the New York Times.
Sorry, go ahead. You think you figure it out?
when you do learn about it, then you talk to him. It's like,
An official voodoo wish and stump. Rub it and make a wish, a card said.
Funny, I say the same thing to women.
Oh, snap! Oh, and Chad missed it. That deserves a... Wait for it. I can't get to it. Epic fail. Never mind. It was a... Score! Okay, hold on. And speaking of which, I want to get my sound
I'll
effects.
just do whatever you're.
No, I'm gonna get my sound effects. This is still my stream. Takes a second. This is my stream. This is how I do my stream. Because
The
you
back
want to
wall
stay always
displays
focused.
various voodoo items, such as an artist's rendering of the voodoo dances
There
in
we go.
Congo Square in the early 1800s. A counter at the back displays brochures and a donation basket. A striking portrait of a turbaned woman is on the back wall. Gabriel wonders who she might be. Gabriel cannot interrogate that. Gabriel can't do a thing with a drummer on the street.
What team can?
There's no one there to interrogate. Gabriel cannot interrogate that.
This is quite a place you have here.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. I have dedicated myself to the preservation of this unique culture.
I think it's funny how
It
he
is
knows it's Mr.
gratifying to
Knight.
see others reap the fruits I have sown.
I thought that they just knew about him.
Dr. John is a huge man. If his manner weren't so pleasant, he'd be intimidating.
If I knew there was a brochure.
The counter.
It's a basket for donation. A counter at the Historical Voodoo Museum is brimming with items authentic and original.
Brown thing next to Dr. John, is that a brochure maybe?
It's a basket.
No, it's a basket.
It's a very large, very formidable looking snake is secured in a plexiglass cage. A counter.
Look at that thing squatting in the
A
corner.
counter at the back displays. A counter.
I don't need money that badly. Besides,
Gabriel cannot see any way to pick that up. Gabriel cannot see any. Gabriel cannot see any way to pick. Gabriel cannot take that.
Oh,
Gabriel cannot take
it's-
that.
I mean, with so many hunt the pixels.
that snake.
Is deadly, which is why the cage is out of public reach.
I see.
The pole is solidly connected to the floor. Even if that were for sale, Gabriel couldn't even if that, Gabriel cannot take that.
Can you look at the squatting?
Given the
corner?
man's size, that doesn't seem advisable.
Yeah, push him.
Even if that were for sale,
Now what do you want?
Gabriel couldn't
I
afford
told you
it.
3 times. Look at the squatting thing in the corner.
One time. That's the only time.
Damn. I've always wanted a skeleton with a bowl on its head.
Like I said, I've only heard it one time.
It's
I'm
the
busy
exit-
looking at all
The
kinds of
historical voodoo.
before I talk to
The
this
back
guy.
wall displays various voodoo items, such as an anatomically correct voodoo doll with pins strategically placed.
Now, why does that remind me of Grace?
Something about the shape of that knife gives Gabriel the creeps. Gabriel doesn't want anything to do with that knife.
Not that knife.
The back wall displays various voodoo items, such as a poster advertising a voodoo tour of the city, winters only.
What's that? We've done that.
The historic... A wooden doll with horns is on the back table.
Looks like Jack Nicholson.
So one of the problem, I think they fixed this and make this a lot easier to see in the remake, and so that's
Maybe
A
it's all
striking-
clearer.
all right. Let's start talking to
It's
John.
just without the voices. Kind of like, unless they were able to maintain them.
Well, I thought that they did. How can they package that and not have the voices? The voodoo tour, never trust the needle. Yeah, never turn the needle. Did you see how the voodoo doll had pins strategically placed on the anatomically correct doll? Instantly, my mind went to the testicle cam you guys were talking about. All right, talk to Dr.
Could
John.
I ask you some questions?
That is why I am here.
That is why I am standing around here doing nothing. He really does look like the Coca-Cola guy. I mean, the 7-Up guy. 7-Up.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Let's start right. He's a voodoo museum
Historical
after
voodoo?
all.
Or the voodoo currently practiced in the city?
Does it really matter?
Okay, so you brought up historical voodoo.
You want to turn about that one?
Well,
Go,
let's just
continue.
let's just go down.
All right. Can you tell me about voodoo? Gabriel O'Brien. Yes, definitely.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
The killings in the newspaper? I know that they have nothing to do with true voodoo in New Orleans.
So,
ahead.
Gabriel's so Gabriel O'Brien. I guess that must be Gabriel Knight's Irish cousin.
Yeah.
Score.
Okay. So New Orleans. Tell us about New Orleans.
What do you think of New Orleans?
New
It
Orleans.
is the only city in the United States as far as I am concerned.
Everything else is just a fragment of your imagination. A figment, not a fragment, not a fragment, but a fragment of your imagination. Or a fragment. Let's see. What can you tell me about snakes?
Hopefully something.
This guy would know something about snakes, since there is one sitting on the counter behind him.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Enclosed in glass.
You have perhaps noticed the museum's snake, Mr. Knight. They are beautiful creatures, do you not agree? And the tourists
No,
seem
I
to
can't say
associate
I
them
actually do.
with voodoo.
St. John's Eve.
What can you tell me about St. John's?
I just can't unsee it.
It is one of the important ceremonial nights in voodoo.
I can't either now.
No, thank you. We'll be thinking about that the whole game now. All right, can you tell me about Cabri Saint-Croix?
Do you have any idea what Cabri Saint-Croix means?
I fear my French is not all it should be, Mr. Knight.
I fear Schottenjäger.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
No, I have not.
Tell me about yourself.
Tell me about yourself.
Me?
Yes, if you don't mind.
What is it you wish to learn?
Why did you open a voodoo museum?
Why did you open a voodoo museum?
The subject has fascinated me all my life, and I wanted to help preserve the cultural heritage it represents.
What kind of background in voodoo do you have?
What kind of background in voodoo do you have?
Let us say that I cut my teeth on it, Mr. Knight. It is in my blood.
Do you do anything besides run the museum?
Do you do anything besides run the museum?
No. The museum does not make me a rich man, but my material needs are simple. I prefer to focus on my one true interest in life.
What are your own religious beliefs?
What are your own religious beliefs?
My beliefs are too personal and too complex to discuss with a layman, Mr.
Like
Knight.
yourself.
Nice way to put it.
How about just tell me?
Just tell me anything.
I am originally from the West Indies myself, you know.
Really? What brought you to New Orleans?
I was drawn here for personal
Now
reasons.
notice that one he said New Orleans. And the other one is New Orleans.
I think some of it's just probably how they're reporting it. Inconsistencies.
Uh-huh. Tell me anything.
Just tell me anything.
I am a vegetarian.
Great.
Really? I can't imagine living without meat.
That must be the hunter in you, Mr. Knight.
Ha ha. Tell me anything.
Just tell me anything.
Boy, you wolfy
I do
boy.
not care for small talk, Mr. Knight.
Tell me anything.
Just tell me anything.
I am not an easy person to get to know. I am a very private man.
Thank you so much for the
Isn't that
follow,
lovely?
Cinemasker.
Someone
Hello.
who's in it, isn't it?
Hi. Hey.
Not at all.
James Chu. How are you?
My displays speak for me.
Just tell me anything.
Just tell me anything.
Not everyone can come see the museum, so I occasionally do public speaking on the subject of historical voodoo.
Anything coming up that I might attend?
No. But then, you have me all to yourself right now, do you not?
Sorry it took me long enough. Craziness between False Idol and Cherry Pie. Yeah, are they playing WoW again? Just tell me anything.
Just tell me anything.
I am originally from the West Indies myself, you know.
Gone for circle.
Really? What brought you to New Orleans?
Sorry for the
I
repeat.
was drawn here for personal reasons.
Actually, I can't think of it.
Actually,
Alright,
I
let's
can't
learn
think of a
about
thing.
Then, let us discuss something else.
Yes, historical and current voodoo.
Tell me about historical voodoo.
Very well. I will start at the beginning, Mr. Knight, and will go on from there at your prompting.
Sounds good.
As you may know, voodoo is a grassroots religion formed by the mixing together of many different African tribal religions and Anglo religions, such as Catholicism or Protestantism. In other words, it is a religion born of the African slave trade. But African slaves were imported not only by the United States, but also into the West Indies, where the French and Spanish ran plantation islands. Prior to 1803, the New Orleans area was owned by France. The French Creole in those days owned many African slaves. But the Creole did not permit their slaves to gather, giving no chance for voodoo to breed here natively.
The
Isn't it
Creole
also-
also knew enough about the corrupted pagan practices of the West Indies slaves to ban the importing of slaves from that region.
Did you hear the difference in the voice? All
Yeah,
of a sudden,
something-
something
It's
changed.
probably just slightly different recording.
Oh, how
but
funny.
It's better than, like, in Quest of Glory 4, there's an area where Magda, the old gypsy woman,
Yeah.
there are a couple lines that they had somebody else come and do a couple lines that I guess the original actress wasn't available, so they had somebody else
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely hear the difference when somebody else is doing the line versus the person who's been doing the line all
Yeah.
along.
Well,
So,
it might have still been the same person, but yeah, you can keep on doing the historical.
okay, I'm just going to talk to Cinemaskers to find out what kind of craziness are we talking about with Cherry Pie and False Idol. All right, historical voodoo it is. We try not to, during the story games, we really try not to interrupt the dialogue of the voice actor. But I am looking at the chat, so feel free to talk if you want to.
So, how did voodoo come to New Orleans?
After the Louisiana Purchase, American legislators relaxed regulations. Slaves were permitted to gather. The Americans also removed the ban on West Indies slaves.
Around the same time, a slave revolt occurred in Santo Domingo, what is now Haiti. Between the lifting of the ban and the Haitian revolt, West Indies slaves began pouring into New Orleans.
Some of them were free people of color, freed or escaped slaves. Some came with their white owners who were fleeing from the revolt.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they are. Yeah. I wish I could say more, but I am going to. Acting like a married couple. We are. They're slowing down something and False Idol rushing her, All right, current voodoo.
No, just keep doing historical voodoo
Oh,
until there's
historical
nothing else.
voodoo
What
will
happened when the
finally
West
end.
Indies slaves got
Okay.
here?
They brought voodoo with them. The native slaves were more than enthusiastic about embracing it. It gave them power, Mr. Knight, if only in the form of a communal bond. Among the first meeting places were the Bayou Saint John and the shore of Lake Pontchartrain. The early voodoos were heavy snake worshippers, worshipping the one they called the Great Zombie.
Zombie. All right, and of course,
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
By 1817, the voodoo activities were beginning to cause fear among the white slave owners. An ordinance was passed to forbid slave gatherings except in designated public areas at designated times. The time was Sunday afternoons and the place Congo Square. The slaves and free people of color gathered to dance simulations of their voodoo dances right in sight of Creole society. Of course, they also continued to meet in private for the real thing.
The real thing. Okay, when will you know when you're done?
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
There were a variety of kings and queens at first, voodoo priests.
But then you got to
and
go through and
priestesses.
ask about current
But from
voodoo
about
too?
1830, a single
Odd
power
dialogue
emerged.
on this bird.
This was a voodoo queen named Marie Laveau.
So now I'll explain the Marie Laveau.
Marie Laveau ruled voodoo in New Orleans for many years.
Ah,
That's the
And
ding,
we got-
ding, ding, ding.
and now we have Marie Laveau.
Ah, so do you want to ask about
Yeah.
Marie Laveau?
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
Marie
There were
Laveau.
actually two Marie Laveaus, mother and daughter. Most people thought they were the same woman. Her continued youth added to the mystique.
Was she kind of like
The original, the
Countess
mother,
of
was
Blood?
also
Right.
known as
Right.
Widow Paris. It was she that began the empire. When the Widow Paris began to practice, there were many voodooans in the city. By 1830, she was voodoo queen of all New Orleans.
Okay, and now we've heard about Marie Laveau.
You're
Current?
doing no historical until there's nothing on.
Oh,
Tell me more about
you
historical.
almost want to go.
I've given you as much detail as I can.
There you
tonight.
go. Look around the museum.
Look
Get
around
an
the museum
education.
if you desire more
Do something
information.
else.
There's your hand.
Current
Tell me
voodoo.
about current voodoo.
Many
You mean
people
the
think
one where
of
we call
voodoo
it
in terms
hoodoo?
of magic spells or
Voodoo, the
grigri.
voodoo that you do.
That kind of practice is actually called hoodoo and is only a part of true voodoo. Voodoo, the religion, has a strong following in New Orleans. In fact, it is growing quite rapidly. There are several voodoo churches or temples in the city, and others all across the United States.
I did not know that.
African Americans see it as a tradition all their own. Whites, and there are many in their religion, are attracted to it because they think it is exotic. I, personally, am more interested in the history of voodoo. Some of the new movements are copying Haitian or even African voodoo. But it is the voodoo of New Orleans that I find so intriguing.
Tell me more about
told
current
her.
voodoo.
There are many voodooans in New Orleans. They often do business selling grigri, telling fortunes, providing luck, and occasionally misfortune. Perhaps you would like to meet a voodooan. We refer those who seek a deeper experience with voodoo to a local practitioner, Magentia Moonbeam.
Sure, I'd love to meet her.
She lives on the corner of Orleans
Okay.
and Dauphine. I will call her and tell her you might stop by.
Great, thanks.
Okay, now we do hoodoo.
Well, keep going. Current voodoo till.
Tell me more about current voodoo.
You have tapped my
And now hoodoo.
Is there anything else I should know about hoodoo?
You have
Not
topped
if your interest is
my-
primarily in voodoo. Hoodoo is of interest to those who study rural folk traditions, but it will not aid you in understanding true voodoo.
Okay. Malia
Do you
again.
know Malia Getty?
Should I?
She referred me to your museum.
Many have read about our museum in the newspapers, Mr.
It
Knight.
is an accident.
That's a good point.
It's like, it is. I can't help but think about the 7-Up guy and Live and Let Die. You know, he's like, All right. We're done with the curtain. We're done with this guy. We're exiting out of here. And I'm going to guess it is time to...
Maybe save.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Save the game. We got a lot of points to go to get through this game. So, Saving the game. Well, I'm going to save it as the 7-Up guy. Visiting the 7-Up guy. It's a voice. It sounds the same. Is it not? Am I not right? Oh, I said visiting the 7-Up. You know, it'll work. It'll work. It's all good. It's all Gouda. As Mike Cade often says, it's Gouda. Gouda.
The doorway is already open.
Well, then let me throw my ass on out of it as we walk.
Thanks a lot. Bye now.
Walk carefully out there, mister.
Hint, hint. Don't let the door. Oh, never mind. Okay, so now we can actually go to Moonbeam Residence. Moonbeam, Magenta Moonbeam. All right, let's go to Moonbeam. I'm excited about this. I think that's who we need to go see.
Welcome, Seeker. You must be the one Dr. John called me
Yep,
about.
and I rushed right on over.
I guess so. My name is...
Wait? Gabriel Knight?
You're too quick for me.
Actually, Dr. John told me. You have come to the right place, Mr. Knight. Tell me how I can help.
Okay, first of all, I like to look around. As an adventurer, I look around at everything.
Magenta Moonbeam is wrapped in gauze and silks. She looks vaguely mysterious and mysteriously
Vaguely
vague.
mysterious. She has a crystal ball.
A large crystal ball is prominently displayed.
But something, has I ever get the feeling something's watching you? Well, there you go.
The mask is made of carved wood. And
It's just a
looks
mask, but
African.
my gosh, doesn't it look like an alien? Like, I'm watching it. All right, we're flying around. I'm
a
getting
glass
there.
lamp hangs from a chain over the table.
Hurry it up.
She doesn't look anything like the voodoo lady out of Buck Alley.
The
Nope.
Moonbeam residence looks like a cross between a voodoo temple and a Victorian fortune teller's parlor by way of Haight Street.
All right,
The
and the
shelf
birdhouse.
holds a variety of unusual objects, the kind of thing Gabriel refers to as junk. The Moonbeam the shelf holds up the kind of thing. A small draped table displays a crystal ball.
I did.
A large, sluggish snake rests on the floor of the fancy bird cage. Apparently, Magenta is not a fastidious housekeeper. A shed skin shares the cage with its original owner. Magenta's snakes looks a little sickly, but Gabriel would still rather not stick his hand in the cage.
Maybe, but maybe we should talk first before we
Yeah.
just start going and dinking around with her snake.
Or if you can use the snake scale on the snake or the skin.
I think you
onto the
compare. I
person.
think you compare it or something because now we have two people who have snakes, and we found a snake scale at the crime scene. So let's just talk to her first. We'll start generic.
Dr. John tells me you're a voodoo practitioner of some kind.
Yes, I am a voodoo yen, a voodoo priestess.
Here we go.
Could I ask you a few questions?
Of course, Seeker.
Okay. So of course we're going to ask about.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
My practice is mainly selling charms and potions with magic power, such as gree-gree and voodoo oils. You know, everything from unrequited love to wandering spouses to winning a lawsuit. But my spells and charms are powerful, and they work.
And voodoo murders.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Why, that has nothing to do with me and my clientele.
We say
But
that
I can tell you that you
clientele,
should
but-
stay as far from it as possible. There is badness there. Very bad.
New Orleans.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
See, now it's New Orleans.
New Orleans is the center of voodoo practice in the United States.
Sounds like she read it right off a card. New Orleans is the Mecca of the United States. What can you tell me about... Snakes.
Do you know anything about snakes?
You know anything about
Snakes?
snakes?
You mean like my beloved Grimwald?
Grimwald.
She's a python, you know.
Yeah.
Quite deadly in the wrong hands. I
Yeah.
was trained by one of the great voodoo queens to learn how to hypnotize and handle snakes.
All right. How about St. John's Eve?
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
She ought to know about
St. John's Eve? It is the greatest night of the voodoo year.
Yep,
There is always a traditional conclave on St. John's Eve. Most of our voodoo churches these days hold functions in the church hall. But in the old days, they had ceremonies out in the wild, and they wore animal masks and had a huge bonfire and dancing. I used to go when I was an apprentice, sometimes in the swamp, you know, Bayou St. John, sometimes at the lake, Lake Pontchartrain.
Okay, hold on. St. John's Eve. Cabri Sancour.
Do you have any idea what Cabri Sans Coeur means?
No. No, I don't.
Yeah, right.
She said that way too fast.
No.
Marie
You're full of crap.
Laveau. Marie Laveau.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Oh, yes. She was the first of the great voodoo queens.
Now, animal masks.
Tell me about the animal masks.
I saw them used once or twice when I was younger, but you don't see them much anymore. They are too close.
Too close to what?
Just bad karma.
You know anything about Schottenjägers?
Have you ever heard the word Schottenjäger?
I don't know anything about that.
Tell me about yourself.
Tell me about yourself.
Yes? What would you like to hear?
How'd you get into this business?
How'd you get into this business?
I trained in the voodoo arts for many years with the great Queen Tabitha.
Really? Who's she?
You have never heard of her? For shame! I can see you know little of the world of magic.
Obviously.
I'm beginning to get that impression, yes.
Yes, that's fine. Hello, winkers, and yes, that's fine.
Wink, 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 wink. Hello, Wink. Welcome to the stream.
What kind of people came to see you?
What kind of people come to see you?
Seekers after the truth, such as yourself.
What else do you do?
Do you do anything else?
I am a voodoo yen, and that is plenty. It takes much spiritual effort.
So is she kind of like a gypsy fortune teller type thing? How many voodoo ends are there?
How many voodoo yens are there?
Voodoo yens.
No one
I
knows
thought it was
exactly.
voodoo ends.
Many practice in secret. There are probably hundreds.
Mhm.
But of course the level and the power of the voodoo yens differ greatly, depending on their training and natural gifts.
Okay, and tell me anything at all.
Tell me anything at all.
I haven't always lived in New Orleans. I came
you
here
went
from
to
Kansas
Kansas.
as a young woman.
Dorothy Gale.
Tell me anything at all.
I began studying voodoo more than 20 years ago.
In
I am
Kansas.
well versed in the magical art.
That's the hot spot of voodooism, isn't it? In Kansas?
Kansas. Topeka?
Wichita. Tell me.
Dodge City.
Nobody on the stream is from Wichita or Topeka or Kansas, right? Tell me
Tell
anything
me
at all.
anything at all.
Many non-believers come to me. They are usually believers when they leave.
What exactly does she do for them? She reads them fortunes. Tell me
Tell
anything
me
at all.
anything at all.
Dr. John sends
Well,
me
she
many
does
seekers such as
potions.
yourself.
Get them to, like, love potions and stuff. The potion number 9. I can't. Tell me anything.
Tell
at
me
all.
anything at all.
I am happy here with my clientele and my snake.
Anything at all.
Tell me anything at all.
I haven't always lived in New
Yeah.
I'm not always the best voodooing in New Orleans. Sorry, guys, Skyrim reference. I can't think of anything else.
I can't think of anything.
All right, we got two more topics, unless we opened up one. Grimwald is the snake.
About Grimwald.
What about her?
Did she? Oh, it's a her. Where did you get Grimwald?
Where'd you get Grimwald?
She belonged to a traveling reptile show. She was being terribly mistreated, so I offered to buy her. She's named after a spirit guide I had once. The spirit Grimwald was a very powerful female snake priestess in Egyptian times.
Grimwald doesn't sound Egyptian.
I only know what the spirits tell me. Monsieur, I am sure they know better than we.
Oh, I'm sure. How did you learn how to handle Grimwald?
How'd you learn to handle Grimwald?
I told you a great voodoo queen taught me. She learned from Marie Laveau herself.
Ah, fascinating.
How about giving me one of her scales?
Would you consider giving me one of Grimwald's scales?
No, I couldn't do that. You might do some gree-gree of your own, no? One must be very careful with such things. Hair clippings, nail parings, and snake scales.
Would you show me
How
how you
about show
handle
me
Grimwald?
how you handle Grimwald?
Really? You would like to see me dance, perhaps?
That would be swell.
I won't make you wait, Monsieur Knight.
Okay, so she's gonna dance with Grimwald?
No matter what you see, do not be frightened.
I'll give it my best shot.